2 weeks since I have been live, but I'm live now. So I'm just getting my some of my paint on in my plate here. Give a few minutes for people to jump on. So I think tonight we're gonna do something a little different. I haven't done a snow globe before, so I think I want to try that tonight. So, and I didn't announce I was going live, so you know, we'll see. We might not get anybody to jump on. Who knows? That's all right. Welcome, guys. All right, so hopefully you guys can hear me. Hopefully you can see. I'm kind of set up a little bit different. The only thing I do not have is my water to clean my brushes. And I'm just going to use the same dirty water that I had for my ornaments. Yeah. Hi, Poison Cow. Welcome, guys. So today I'm going to do something a little bit different. And now that I'm just thinking about it, I forgot to grab an extra plate. All right, so let me grab a plate, another plate. Do I have one in here? No, of course I do not. All right. Because this is what we're going to use to make our snow globe. So I can get a good circle. Because, you know, sometimes it's going okay. I've been hemming and hawing all day on what I wanted to paint tonight. So I came up with this. So, and hopefully my paints don't dry as fast as they did the other night when I was doing the ornaments, because my paint was drying out so fast. All right, I'm gonna move my soda so I do not try to put my paintbrush in it. All right, so the whole canvas is gonna be dark at the top, dark at the bottom, lighter in the middle, but it's just basically going to be like atmosphere in the background. So I'm going to pick up black and blue on my brush together, and we're just going to get something going on up in the sky. And I might switch to a bigger brush. We'll see here. I'd like to do this in one coat instead of two, if possible. So yeah, I think we're gonna switch to my bigger brush. Let me just get this up here done. Because I want my time spent on the snow globe. So I don't want my background taking forever. So I'm just gonna pick up some blue and some black together on this big brush. And we're just gonna get this kind of bluey black kind of sky going on. And we're gonna stop it right about in here with the dark, dark color. And then we're just gonna start grabbing some white, and then we'll go back to this dark after. So sometimes when you're trying to get your whole canvas done, it just works easier trying to, you know, using a bigger brush. All right. Now, because I have a lot on my brush, I'm just going to go back down on the bottom and start getting some of this deposited. Now, I'm just going to pick up my white, which I didn't put on my palette yet. Because doing the background is always the boring part. After that, it's kind of fun. All right. So with my dirty brush, I'm just going to go into the white. And then we're just going to kind of merge it into the darker color. Lock this down now. And I don't want there to be like a harsh line where the two colors are merging. I just want it to be kind of all blending together. And then we'll just do the same thing. We'll go down into the dark color. And I'm going to pick up just a little bit more of that dark because I do want down here to be a little bit darker. And there goes my water. So how is everybody doing tonight? All right, and I'm just gonna bring a little bit more of this lighter color up through the top. I'm gonna wash this, and I'm gonna wash this with my bigger brush. And I'm just gonna take a blender, and we're just gonna kind of soften this a little tiny bit. All right, so let's see. Because I'm going to need this to be dry, so I don't want to go too heavy. And I do have some brush marks there that I'm not liking, so. All right. Squeezing this out just a bit. Just going to take the wet brush. I'm not liking that either. All right, so I'm gonna just pick up some of this other color. So I mix some white in with that darker color. And I'm just so like it has, I don't know, some sort of atmosphere going on in the background. I didn't want it just plain. And we'll pick up some of the dark, the blue and the black, and just kind of merge these two. And I'm just making little circles, you know, nothing too extravagant. And then I'll just pick up a little bit more of just the white. And the blue and the black. So it's basically making like a, kind of like a blue-gray. And this, you know, this is like the most boring part, but yet it can have the biggest impact, you know, on your painting. So you definitely don't want to skip doing your background. You know, getting it the way you want it. All right, so I want to get some swirls kind of going up all over so it doesn't, you know, look like it's all on one side. And then we'll just go in with some white. All right, I'm gonna spray it just a little bit. Sorry about that, guys. Because everything is drying really quick again tonight. Get this middle section kind of the way I want it. And then I'll just take this I don't want like a harsh line of dark and light is what I don't want. All right. So I'm thinking that is looking better. So I'm going to take my dryer here and I'm going to dry it a little bit. So let me check the comments. I am using acrylics. Welcome, Breezy K. So the reason I didn't go live last week is because my face was broke out down here. Just like my arms. Yeah. So, you know, I just didn't feel like having my puss all over YouTube. Looking like I don't know what. All right, and we are going to use our chalk pencil. All right. See, that doesn't take long at all, guys. So, and I'm just using the Liquitex Basics. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for joining me. Okay, so this is my snow globe. All right. So I don't want it right to the edge. And I don't want it directly in the middle. And I want it down a little bit so it leaves us room for a base at the bottom. So I'm going to take my chalk pencil, and we are going to give as our little snow globe. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. Let me see. So you can see the circle. All right, so now we've got to figure out, we want our base. So let's see. I'm going to go right about there. I'm going to come down. And then we can erase this line right in here because we're not going to need that. So I'll clean it up more in a minute. So I also want there to be a church in here. So we're gonna make ourselves a triangle. And we're gonna come in just a little bit like this. And then we're gonna go straight across. So when you're doing something like this, if you need something to measure, you can always use your pen and then go up here and you're like, okay, that's where it was. So then you can make this line so that it matches and then come down. And then we are going to, all right, so I'm going to put a line right through the top, because that's going to be our cross. So then we're going to come down a little ways, and we are going to make our a little steeple. Let me see. Okay, Denise. All right, so now I'm just gonna take a small little brush, I'm gonna wet it, and we're just going to get rid of those chalk lines. So you can either wet your paper towel and wipe it off, or you can just, you know, take a paintbrush and I want to be careful because I know that that paint is still, you know, somewhat fragile underneath there. All right, so we've got that. Let me get a little flat brush here. So we're gonna do our roof in gray. So I'm just gonna take some black and white, and we're gonna make like a gray. And I have a little bit of blue in it, and that's fine. So it'll be like a dark blue gray. I do want it to be a little bit different shade than the roof. I mean, than the background color. All right, so. And we're just gonna go right up to our chalk line. And we're gonna put some snow on our roof here in a minute, so. All right. Once I start getting some color on here, you'll be able to, you know, start seeing this come to life. Now, I have not done a snow globe before. This is my first attempt. So I'm gonna make a light brown, and I'm just mixing the brown and white. So that I have two different shades of brown. This side's gonna be the darker. And I forgot to do the top of that roof. So I will just go back and do it here in a second. And as that dries, it's gonna dry even darker than what it is now. So I'm just gonna go back in with my roof, that roof color, and we're gonna get this little part of the roof on. Okay. And now we're gonna take that lighter color that we made, and we're gonna do the front. And we're gonna do all the way down. All right. And then we're gonna do a little bit more on the church anyhow. We're gonna be adding some snow and some And there's going to be some bushes and stuff on the bottom with some stairs here. So I'm not too worried about the way the bottom looks. Just seeing here if I have a little bit smaller brush than this. I'm going to have to go through all of my brushes and figure out which ones work and which ones don't. All right. Two smaller ones here. So I'm going to take some yellow and some white. So I've got some white, and I'm going to put some yellow in it. And we're going to make like a light yellow. So we can put our windows in. All right, so we're gonna, let's see. So, I mean, at this point, you could put like any shape, windows or doors or whatever you want. And then we're gonna, let's see, do a little one in the top. And we'll do a couple on the side. And let's see. And then I'm going to take some red and some yellow, and we're going to make like an orange. My yellow is drying out really fast. And let's see. So I'm just kind of going around on like the outside, giving it that little bit of a glow. And I might have to dry these. It's like certain areas want to dry, and then the other areas don't want to dry. And then we're going to put some little lines and stuff in our little door. So I'm gonna mix up another yellow. But I'm gonna add a little bit of white, because I want that to be a little bit brighter up in here. There we go. All right, I'm gonna give that a dry. Check comments. Hi, Michelle Swat. I gotta fix that window. So this picture is from Michelle the Painter. That is where I seen this and had the inspiration to do it. So this is not my own creation, but I've been wanting to do this for a long while, so I figured tonight, but I will change it up. It's not going to be exactly like hers, because that's how if I'm following somebody's video, I always will make it my own. And just picking up some more of that dark color because my roof up here does not look right. There we go. I'm gonna hide this one with a tree over here because I'm not liking that, but I don't mind the rest of it. Okay, so let's get my little tiny liner brush. Like I said, I have got to organize all my brushes. I have a favorite, but I'm not finding it right off the bat here. So I'm gonna take some of that blue, black, and white, and we're gonna make like another grayish color. And we're gonna outline our windows. You know what, we're just gonna make this go right across. So it's gonna be like a little ledge. And then I will fix that up. Yeah, this brush is not cutting it for me. Not at all. So I'm going to go into that darker brown that we made. And I'm going to darken this whole side because I don't like how thick I got that on there. And we're just going to keep blending until we get it so it looks you know, like it's part of the side of the church. Um, all right, that's looking a little bit better. Just wet my brush, and I'm just going over it with a wet brush. Yes, I love watching Joni too. Those are the two that pretty much I started my painting career watching. So yeah, Michelle the Painter and Joni Young are my two definite go-tos. Joni's the one that I learned how to do my fairy paintings. All right, let me... I've got to find... Here it is. I bet it's in this one. Yeah, all right. You know, you get a favorite brush and to do a certain thing, and I don't know if you guys are the same way, but I can't, if I don't have that brush, I can't do that technique that I wanted to do. Yeah, it's just crazy. All right, so let me mix up some more of that color, because now I've dicked around until I dried up all my paint. Put some white in there. And I'm gonna actually add a little bit of brown in there, just to give it a different, a little bit of a different hue. All right, so I'm gonna wash. I almost used the wrong brush again. So I'm gonna go in with this really skinny liner brush. And now I can get my little windows in. You know, sometimes you just need like that inspiration, that something like, oh, that's something different. I want to try that. And that was kind of the mood that I was in today. I needed something different to challenge me. Because my last live painting, I hated that painting. I hated it, hated it, hated it. And then when I get a painting that I hate, I have a hard time wanting to paint again. So I had to, yeah, I had to just get that out of my head and be like, everybody has a bad day. Oops. All right, so let's get our, but this is where you can, you know, if your door didn't come out right, you can fix your shapes. Or like me, sometimes you screw it up and then you gotta fix that shape. So I know on the screen it's looking black, but it's more of like a blue, gray, black. And I want, just because it's a church, you know, I wanted something different in the windows. Oh, really? A Christmas turtle? Oh, that would be neat. And we're gonna do half of this window. Okay. I think that's looking all right. And I have some colors I gotta fix, but that's okay. Let me, I bet it turned out beautiful. Yes, I bet it did too. I would love to see it. All right, so I think I'm just gonna go in and now try to fix some of these. Just kind of going over, giving this a little bit more because we darken that other side up, so I wanted to all right. Now we've got our cute little church in there. All right, let me get a filbert brush and we're gonna mix up some green I'm going to use a little bit of brown to darken up my green, so we have a little bit of a darker green. And we are going to, we're going to put one tree, let's do over here first. This one is bent. I'm not using that one. Luckily, I have like 100 filbert brush. Did you use acrylics or oils? All right, so let's put one tree here. And I want this to look like it's, you know, coming out from behind the church. Oh, you haven't? It's fun. I like oils. It's just oils take much longer to dry. All right, we're gonna put some snow on that anyways, but we've got to give it, I'm gonna mix up some more here. And then we're gonna put a bigger one over here. And then we're gonna add some snow. I'm dying to get to the, I'm dying, but I'm scared to get to the, like the glass part. So yeah, that could completely botch the whole painting. I want that really full in there. And now we might as well put another little guy over here. I started with painting on ceramics and then realized I can make my own pieces to paint. Absolutely. I hope I do fine. All right, so. And let's bring this little guy down and so it'll look like he's in front here. All right. So now I'm gonna pick up, I'm gonna mix a little bit of blue and white. More white, but so it has like a hint of blue in it. for the snow. And then we will just we still got to do some stairs and some bushes, but we'll get this, get our trees done first. Okay, we don't want to go outside of our snow globe. All right, so let's go back in with the dark greens and we will kind of put some little bushes here. And then I'll go back in with that blue and that white. Brushes and canvases. I want to good use by learning to paint some. Yeah, that would be really, really good. I'm going to have to get more canvases. I have, I think, two more of this size. That's the lowest I've ever been on my canvases. But I've been doing so much more resin, so, you know, it's kind of... All right, so I'm going to use this, and I need a little bit more black on my... That's green, not black, Michelle. Learn your colors. I got to learn my colors. All right, so I'm going to use two brushes here. So I'm going to go in with the brown first. And then we'll put one more. And then we're going to take the black and we're going to go right underneath. And I'm going to pick up some white and that brown, and we're just going to go over lighten up those stairs just a little bit. Okay. Now I'm going to put a few more bushes around my stairs. That way there, it will just kind of set those in. And that way our stairs look like they're, you know, surrounded by something. Okay, so now I have got to, we're gonna make our snow at the bottom of our snow globe here. And then I've still got to do my, I think I'm gonna use one of my chrome acrylic markers. What do you guys think? Do you think it'll will work on here? The ones I use on my resin. And I moved my container. Where did I put it? I didn't even take it there on my desk and I can't find it. I have a whole tray of them. I can't find a one. Hang on, guys. Oh, right here. It's the thick. That's thick. Fine. All right. I don't know if these are, they're acrylic. I don't see why it wouldn't work. We can find out. Oh, it actually makes it look sparkly. Well, we learned something new. And those of you that watch my resin videos, I have one curing, and I learned a new way. Yes, it would. It would, definitely. You fell in love with my Christmas ornaments. I love painting the ornaments. I absolutely do. But I figured out a new way to apply mica powders to our molds. That's going to be in the next resin video, guys. I was blown away. All right, so I need, no, I've got blue and black right here. I just got to mix some white. Because I need a dark, like a darker blue undertone. So that our little snow mountains, hills, or whatever will, you know, kind of pop. I gotta make sure that I'm staying inside my globe here. And I do want to go close to my trees because I want to put let's bring this down a little bit more. we'll make, I don't know, we'll make this like a snowy path. All right, so I'm gonna wipe that blue off my brush here. And I'm gonna pick up some white. All right. So now we're gonna have to get a little bit of snow on our roof. So again, I'm gonna use that blue and white kind of mixture. Let's see, we're gonna put a little bit of snow on these the ledges here of our little windows. And then we'll go with more dark underneath after. We'll fix that. Oop. And I don't want, I don't want my edges to be like completely smooth, because snow is not, you know, smooth. So I'm going in with the blue and white mixture first, and then I'm going to put white over it to hopefully get it to stand out just a smidge more. All right, so let's see. All right, so now I can go in and use a little bit bigger brush. Thank you, Rachel. So that's got even a little bit of brown in it, and I'm okay with that. You know, you could put icicles hanging off. I mean, there's a lot we could do in this painting still. but some of that snow is getting ready to fall off the roof. All right, so now I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna get just a little bit of plain white. I got 2 palettes that I've got to clean, so that's why I'm using a plate tonight. Yeah, I guess we're gonna stick with this one. And by having that blue underneath will give us, you know, that illusion that that's snow under there, but yet have something for the white to stand out on. All right, I'm gonna have to fix the side of that. The side of this building, I'm not liking. So I just wet my brush and I'm just taking some of that paint off. So you just wet it, wipe it on a paper towel, and you can actually like erase. There we go. Kind of erase what we didn't want there. All right, so now we have got to get our base for our bottom colored in. And I'm trying to see what my biggest filbert brush is. Probably this one. We'll use this one. All right, so I'm gonna mix just black, black, blue, and I'm gonna add a little bit of the brown to it. And I'm gonna probably put some pine needles branches down here, which Michelle did not have. She had just snow in hers. And then we're gonna give this a little bit of highlight to give it like some dimension here. Let's see if we All right. Now this bottom I'm not too worried about because we'll make sure that the pine needles kind of go over that. But I do want to try to get it somewhat in the right shape. Okay. Phew. Gonna let that dry. All right, so now I'm gonna use a different plate because I gotta start mixing my glass color. And I'm probably gonna use this brush. That base really helps bring it together. Yes. Now, once I put the outline of the globe on it, it's gonna start looking like it's a globe. And this is where I'm scared. So I need some blue. No, I'm gonna use I'm going to use black, a little bit of brown, and a little bit of green that I still have in this plate for like because the globe is going to reflect the colors, the colors inside the globe. So because I used greens, browns, even there is some blue in the snow, the sphere is going to be reflecting those colors. So we have to water down our paint because you want it really, really thin. So I'm gonna take a little bit of brown and a little bit of black, and you can see how like soupy I have it. It's like really, and then we're gonna wipe it off as soon as I can find my paper towel thing here so I can grab a clean one. I'm gonna wipe this off. I'm just gonna pick up a little bit of it because I also want it to be dark enough to show. All right, so that's, there we go. I'm gonna add just a little bit of green and some more water in there. And you want that inside to be like really like watered down. Because you want it to be transparent. All right, so I'm gonna do, I'm gonna add a little bit of green and white into right in here and right in here where these trees are. So I just mixed up a really light color, and I'm adding water so that it's like really runny. And then I'm gonna wipe my brush and just get a little bit on there. And we're just gonna kind of give that a little zhuzh there. And just like in the original, she used some purples and stuff, which I'm not going to, because I don't have any purple in my painting at all. And now that I've done one, I kind of know what I would do different next time. All right, so I'm gonna take some white and I'm gonna water that down, and because my water is really dirty, it's giving me this bluish, but I just want to get the rest of just a little. All right. So now we've got to kind of put some reflections, and this is where I kind of get nervous because you have to go over what you've painted. So I want to make sure that those are dry. And I'm just going to take that like whitish blue that I just did, and we're just gonna to kind of give it almost like that curved look. All right, and then we're just gonna Brings out the whole painting, yes. So, let me ask you, does this look like a glass snow globe? That's the whole kicker. If it looks like it's glass, then I did okay. All right, so I'm gonna leave this for now. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a few, now this is where I'm gonna really make it my own. As soon as I can find my angled brush. All right, let me check to see here. Okay, it does look like glass. I mean, I'm looking at it on the TV, and it does. So, all right. So now I'm gonna go in with this bigger one. I'm gonna pick up some of my green and a little bit of black in there, just to darken it a tad. And then what I'm going to do is we're going to make some now these are something I started doing last year, and I don't know what it is with doing these, but it is just so stinking satisfying for me. I don't know why, but it is. I absolutely love doing these type of, and I think it's because you can just be so loose. You know, there's no right or wrong. You don't, and this way here, it kind of like covers some of the base. And then got one coming down, one going out. Let's do this one. And just pulling with the tip of the brush just to add that color. And then we're going to go in with some of the yellow. This brush is a little thick, but it's okay. We're going to make it work. And then I'm going to put another one, and then we're going to add a few pine cones. And you don't want your, the bristles to be completely even. You want them to be all different lengths. And the more layers that you can put over them, the better and more realistic they become. And then we're going to add, let's see, do one more here. I don't know, right now it looks like a hot mess. I'm just trying to get that color in. Just trying to get a nice dark base is what I'm trying to do right now. So kind of almost like on the ornaments, but this will actually look a lot better, hopefully. All right. So I'm gonna scoop my yellow. Gonna mix some in with my green just to make a lighter green. And let's see. So I'm just using the brush really lightly. I'm actually adding a little bit of water to thin that out a little bit more. You know, and then we can go over it with a little bit of snow after. And I need a smidge more yellow. Oh, we still got some here. Because you definitely want you know, that other green to show, that lighter green. All right, so before we go and add some snow, because I do want to put a little bit of snow in the snow globe. But I want to do a couple pine cones first. So I'm going to go in with the brown, and I'm going to add just a smidge of black just to darken it a smidge. And pine cones are really fun. So basically, you just tap and pull, and you can actually like make your hole outside of your pine cone. And then you just coloring the inside. And then when you go over it with the next color, it's going to look like a pine cone. And I'm gonna have one coming down here. All right, let me get some white. And we are going to make our little pine cone. So I shouldn't put them so close together. I'll have to put a little bit of darkness. Just to kind of like separate them a little bit. I don't know. All right, let's see. And we can put one, let's see, we'll put one right here. And then I'll just pick up a little white. And you can also turn your canvas if it makes it easier to get your little shape things in. All right. And let's see. Let's get some snow. So I got some white here. And I'm just gonna well, not this nice. Are you going to do anything to the other side? Shell, you did an amazing job. It looks like a glass globe. Thank you guys so much. Yes, I think I'm going to, I've got to put something over here. No, you wouldn't have, Breezy. What should I put over here? Should I put some more of this, or should I have like maybe a couple branches of trees? Because if I did that, I could. Oh, but it's a snow globe. It's not an ornament. I was going to turn it into an ornament. Let me get my snowmaker brush. Where's my snowmaking brush? I know I stuck it in one of these containers. Oh, I don't want to have to compromise, but I will if I have to. I got too many containers here. All right, so, oh, sorry guys. Think outside the box. Because we could actually even put some red berries in this. You know what? I think I'm gonna extend this right like around the side, like it's coming around. I think that's what we'll do. So before I get into my snow making, let me grab my green. Oh, there goes those brushes. 52 pickup. You know what I'll be doing later? Picking up paint brushes. Even flung over here. All right, so I'm gonna go in with the dark. And let's see. And then we can add some more pine cones, and I think I will put a few berries. Now, if you go in right now, yeah, I think the berries would definitely make it pop. So where that's wet right now, if I went in with the white, this is the difference that it's going to make. Which I think it looks a little bit more natural. But, you know, again, it just gives a different, you know, a different look. So that they're not all the same. And let's have one coming this way. All right, let me get a little bit more white. I forget I have another plate. All right, so I'm just gonna go right in. I need some more green. All right, I think it looked better with that versus the bright white. So I'm just picking up green and white on my brush at the same time. And we're just gonna kind of just go over that. And that way they will all kind of blend in and look more uniform. And when you're doing something like this, the more layers of different shades of color that you put, the better they look. Just with whatever's left on my brush, I'm kind of going back over these, getting them to blend in a little bit more. All right, so let's get some berries going, so I'm not keeping you guys here all night. All right, so I'm gonna take some red and I'm gonna put a little bit of black, and we're gonna make a darker red to start with for our berries. And let's see. We're gonna put, I'm gonna do them in clusters of 3, I think, this time. So we'll go in with the darker red first. And then we're gonna pop them with, and then we'll pop them with a, the bright red after. Okay. Now we're gonna go in with the red. Yeah, I think the red berries definitely added to this painting. All right. So now I have got to figure out which brush I'm going to use to make my snow in my globe. And I want something small because I want to be able to control where the snow goes. I want it to go in the globe. But let's see, I'm needing, let's see. Come on, I gotta have a little bit of blue left on here, I do. All right, so. All right. Just, it needed some sort of a walkway or something. All right, so I'm gonna wet my brush. And let me find a clean spot on my plate here. And the berries do really pop. So what I'm thinking, to incorporate the bottom with here, let's add just a few into the painting, so that way it kind of, oh, that's fine. All right, so I definitely want, all right, I think, I'm almost thinking like under here needs to be a smooth line. I don't think we'd have the reflection at the bottom. Yeah, I think that definitely helped. In fact, I think, I hope I don't screw it up, but I think the outside of this definitely needs a darker, you know, thanks, guys. Yeah, I think just outlining that a little bit is, going to help with that illusion. Yeah, I definitely think it needed that extra little bit of darkness on that outside edge. Could actually use a little bit lighter now in here, but I'm not going to mess with it too much because it looks okay. All right, so I'm going to sign this. If you guys have any questions, put them in the comments. And I am going to sign it with my silver marker so I can actually, thanks. All right, so let's, I think I'm going to start using a marker, guys, a paint marker to sign my paintings. Because even though you can't see it, I can actually write my full name. It looks better than okay. It's absolutely stunning. Thank you so much, Breezy. So yeah, this is, now the original painting, they had stars all up in here, and this was like a whole snow scene as well. But I really didn't want that because I wanted the snow globe to be the snow feature. You know what I mean? I didn't want, like, I could go in and add you know, a few more snow things on here. I was going to actually add a few more pine cones, but I don't know. It kind of looks okay like this. This balanced it out, you know, so it's kind of like going across. Yeah, I think it looks okay. And the snow globe is the focus, so that's what's drawing your eyes. This is just a little blah, you know, something extra. So yeah, so at least this is a painting that, you know, I'm proud of, not like the last one. I don't know what my issue was with the last live. It would take away from the globe. See, that's what I thought too, Breezy. I thought, you know, if there's snow all up in here, it's going to be too much. It's going to take away from, this is the snow globe. So this is where you want your snow. In fact, I could actually add a little bit more snow to the globe. Let me just get a little bit, just so we have like a few bigger, so you know it looks like it's a snow globe. As I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh, you really can't tell that it's snow, you know what I mean? Because there's got to be a little bit of it everywhere. And because I couldn't find my snowmaking brush, you know, because there's got to be a few on the church and the stairs. I mean, I don't want to go overboard, but it definitely, I think, needed a little bit more snow going on in here. There. Now it looks like it's snowing in the snow globe. Alrighty, guys, I am going to go ahead and get my mess cleaned up, and I will see you guys on the next video. So there should be a video going out tomorrow night. Like I said, it's got a new way of putting mica powder on the molds, so you might want to watch it. I was blown away. Oh. Alrighty, guys, I will see you guys later. Thanks for hanging with me. Bye. Now if I can remember how to, there we go.